welcome to another video. It feels like it's been ages since I had a conversation with you guys because I did take a few days off over the school holidays. So not that you guys would have noticed because the videos kept coming. Now, this is, don't adjust your televisions. Trust me, this is in hyperspeed. Just this first bit at the beginning, I sped right up because I wanted to show you from start to finish how I decorated my little GONKS from, I call them GONKS, some people call them gnomes. I think GONK is cute, so I'm going to call it a GONK. Okay, so what I ended up doing is, before I get started, I want to just preface this by saying these little GONKS were kindly sent to me by Melissa from Crafty Divas. I will have a link in the description below where you can go and buy your little GONKS and she will send them out to you. They are absolutely adorable and dirt cheap too, I might say. Like, they're really cheap. So basically what I started off doing, I was warned, I think it was Shirley said to me, or it might have been Gail, I don't know who it was. It was somebody, said to gesso my GONKS before I started. So I actually did 2 layers of gesso because I was using my Montmartre white textured gesso. I know that seems a little extreme, but the other gesso that I had, because I normally use clear gesso, right? But obviously you want white so that your colours pop on your little GONKS. So I went to use my white and then realised that the Montmartre white gesso that I have, I'm not really a fan of it. The smooth, it's great when you're using it on a canvas, but in such a small area, it's a bit plasticky, which is obviously what it is. It's a sealant, but I decided to use the Montmartre white textured gesso and it worked a treat. It was perfect. It did exactly what I needed it to do and I loved it. You're probably looking at your screen right now thinking, what on God's green earth is this woman doing? This green stuff that you can see me painting on my stars is actually masking fluid. Now, what is masking fluid? Most scrapbookers would have no clue because they wouldn't do masking. But in the arty realm of mixed media and all the rest of it, there's this stuff. It's called masking fluid. You can paint it onto your surface and when it sets, you can paint over the top of it. And when you're finished, you just run your finger over it or a cloth or whatever you choose to use. I just use my finger and it just rolls off like a piece of rubber. You can see a couple of pieces at the top there where they've rolled off. And yeah, I put them on there purely because I didn't know if my new POSCA paint pens, I bought the pastel set to do this. I have been planning this page for weeks. I've ordered these, like, it's just crazy. It's insane. But I bought these pens and because they were new, I didn't know if they were going to flood out on me or if they were going to flow beautifully. Hence why I used the masking fluid on my little GONKS, on their little, what do you call them? Their little hats. Now, I'm doing them all different colours because I am creating the page that will start I'm not doing a Christmas album. So years gone by, obviously when my kids were younger, I did Christmas albums and mini albums with Christmas photos and that's kind of the direction I used to like to play. But what I'm going to do in 2023 is a little bit different and I wanted to start bringing you ideas of what I'm going to be doing because it might trigger the thought process for you a little bit before Christmas and you might think, actually, I like that idea. Or you might think, GONKS are not for me. It's totally your call. But what I'm doing is this particular page, believe it or not, here's another spoiler alert. There's no photos on this page. There is no photos at all. So this is like the title page of a book. It's like your front album page, but it doesn't have any photos on it. And it's introducing you to our 2023 family Christmas. So that's kind of where I wanted to go with this year's Christmas album. or Christmas photos that I want to scrap, which is, it feels kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. Thinking this hard about Christmas, and I cannot, to say, oh wow, it's October. I'm going to say that all month, because I'm not kidding you. That's what this month is for me. Oh wow. Where is the year gone? Surely I'm not the only one thinking this. Like, it is crazy how fast it's gone. Now, so what I'm doing here is I use the POSCA paint pens for the little hats, right? Then I painted their little beards. So everyone's got a nice white beard. And then I came in with some titanium, it was titanium, what's it called? Let me tell you what it's called. Unbleached titanium. I knew it was a word, and titanium. Unbleached titanium. It's the Joe Sonia's artist. This stuff is 100% opaque. You cannot see through it. One coat, bang, you're done. So this paint, if you don't want to go down the route of buying POSCA paint pens, get yourself some of this paint, some artist quality paint, and it's nice and thick. Get acrylic, because once it dries, it sets, it doesn't move around on you, and yeah, it's fantastic. So I did my little arms and noses in the unbleached titanium, and I know I've got enough paint there to paint an entire village of gonks, but anyway, see how I'm just rubbing my finger on the top of the stars and the green just rolled off? Now there's nothing on there except for the gesso, and that's it. So I'm using my it's my finer one. It's my Uniball Signo. It doesn't have anything else on it. It's called Noble Metal. So I normally use my gold, I say it's a warm gold, my Pigment Ink Signo Broad pen. That one is, they're both pigment ink, but my larger, so my 0.7 millimeter, no, my 1.0, it is a warmer gold. This one that I'm using on the little gonkies, I think that it's a slightly cooler gold. And it's really sparkly, and it's called Noble Metal, and I got mine from Officeworks. If you're an Aussie or a Kiwi watching and you want to get yourself some, absolutely love this pen. Now I'm just removing all the little masked bits so I can just do this assembly style. Now what was I going to say? I was going to say something to you then. I'm a bit rusty, guys. Haven't done a voiceover for a few days, so I was a little hesitant actually, because I'm like, oh, I haven't done this for a bit. I was getting a bit sort of stage fright. I will be honest with you guys, this video does go for 27 minutes. So unless you want to, if you're having it with your brekkie and you're used to a short sort of 15-20 minute video from me, this one goes for 27. Specifically because I wanted to leave in the colouring of the gonks, because I think that's pretty important, but there was other parts that I also needed to leave in as well, so that it didn't just look like, ta-da, the page is done. So now this piece here I've slowed down. So this is real time. This is real time Karen scrapping time. I pulled out my Ecoline black pen, and you can see me doing there, I'm coming in from the back. Remember, if you do anything like this, always come in from the back. So what that means is your pen comes forward, and if it slips down, it's going to draw on the back of the gonk, not on the front. So I'm just running a black line around the outside of my little gonk, and I'm being super careful near these stars because they're very delicate. And I absolutely love how this just finishes it off. It gives you a beautiful black edge, and it looks really, really good. I absolutely love how these turned out. I know I really wanted these super, super bad, but I got to tell you, I love how this turned out. Now the Ecoline pen, I got these 3 pens from, I don't know if I bought them or if they were chucked in as free. No, I know what they were. I know when I got these were in from Crafty Divas. They have got some packs, and they were like mixed media pack. I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was Crafty Divas, and they had a couple of different packs there, and it was a mixed media pack, and it had a few pens in it and a couple of sprays, and the sprays I wanted to try to see if I liked them. Spoiler alert, I don't like them, and I won't be using them. And that's nothing to do with Crafty Divas, nothing to do with them. It was purely, I like, can you see? Sorry, draw your attention to this. See how there's that perfect black line around the outside edge? It's so crisp. It's fantastic. So yeah, the sprays, I will use them on a live and show you what I mean. And yeah, you'll figure it out. But I'm not going to diss the product. I love so many things from that store. It's amazing. Now, I've pulled out a sheet of, this is an SVG file from, I went to Cricut Design Space. I typed in Christmas. This is one of them that popped up that I sort of went, oh, I like that. It is from SVG APE, APE, and it's called 2023 Family Christmas, and it's CUTFILE, and it's in the Cricut Design Space. Now, I'm using KAISERCRAFT papers. The one that so my background piece, you can see it's got a bit of blue on it, and it's got a little bit of, it's got text all over it, and it's Christmassy. It's from the Frosted collection from KAISERCRAFT, and I will have in the description below the numbers that go with these particular pages, but just so you know, everything's always in the description below. Now, to make this easier for myself, as you saw, I just put the outside the piece that was cut off from around the outside of the cut file. I popped that down, just used my pencil, and I just sort of went around to see where the cut file will sit, so I can mute out a little bit of the text, so it's a little bit more sort of blacked out. Now, I am using this is the white paint that I bought from Lincraft the other week. It's the Maker brand Studio Acrylic Paint, and seriously, can you see how not opaque it is? I'm still endeavouring to try and use it though. Don't you worry, I will figure out a way to use this paint up. I'm not going to waste it because it's money, and you know, is what it is. I ended up doing 2 coats, and that sort of gave me a bit more of the hazy look. I could have pulled out the gesso. I could have done it with that, but I'm trying to use up that paint. So I thought, you know what? If it doesn't work, I've got a spare sheet. It's not a problem. So then I came in with some white splatters. You know that I'm not a huge splatter fan. I like my splatters to be specifically in, you know, put them exactly where I want them. And I decided to put those splatters down first so that they didn't go over photos or anything like that. Well, I knew there'd be no photos on this layout, but and this is another thing too, guys. This was a bit more of a challenge for me because I always have photos on a layout. Why else do we have layouts if we don't have photos on them? But sometimes you might want to have the front page of your album. You might be doing a dedicated album for a holiday that you've been on, or it could be all of the family is, you know, you might have family all over the world, and they might be all flying in for Christmas to spend at your place. You may choose to do an entire album based on that particular Christmas. It could be an 18th birthday or a 21st birthday. You might want to just do an album solely for that. You know, even a wedding, you know, you might want to do that. And if that is the case, then doing a title page is not that weird. It's not that strange. So that's why I thought I would do this well before Christmas photos and Christmas 2023. You know, in America, you guys have Thanksgiving, all that sort of stuff. We don't have Thanksgiving down here. We just don't. We have Christmas. We have Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Yeah, that's about it. So now what I'm doing is I've gone over with my silver lining Lunar paste. I've silvered everything up. Now what I'm doing is I'm using my matte gel medium and I'm gluing down the letters that were cut in the cut file. Reason for this, I'll explain why. Now, I'm gluing them down. Remember, if you're doing this, flip your letters over. Last time I did this, I didn't flip my letters over. Flip your letters over so you can cut them out. The reason I glued them down and I didn't just trace them is because I actually wanted them to have more depth on the page. So I am using the 6x6 KAISERCRAFT Christmas Wishes, a sheet out of that particular paper pad. Now, I got to be honest with you guys, I will not be buying new Christmas papers this year for my pages because I went kind of crazy last year. And spoiler alert, I haven't used practically any of them. So I'm not doing that this year. I will be using what I bought last year, which is still, I've got a heap of Echo Park. I've got some, what else? Cartabella. I've got some, got a few different bits and pieces. And this is my KAISERCRAFT stuff. Now this, the reason I wanted to use this particular paper for my title page, I'm going to call it, is because it is pinks and silvers and mint greens and, you know, not your traditional colours, not the colours that I really like for Christmas. I'll be honest with everybody on here, okay? We do not get snow in Queensland for Christmas. Christmas for us here is sweltering in the aircon if you can get it. If you can go somewhere where someone's got a pool, bonus. If not, I'm lucky because I've got two brothers and they both have pools. Otherwise, I'm in air conditioning because, you know, the rheumatoid arthritis loves Christmas. It's a riot. Yeah, so we don't have snow and all that sort of stuff. But this particular page, I've left this in, guys. It doesn't make it to the end. I go through and wipe all this distress crayon. Distress crayon, where'd that come from? Watercolor pencil. I did not like how this went down on top of the Lunar paste. I was trying to do a drop shadow and I was trying to do something different because I always use my POSCA pens, and guess what? Didn't like it. So I left this in there to show you that Karen didn't like it, but I did it. I tried it. I don't like it. And all I did, because essentially the Lunar paste has actually sealed it. It's like gesso. It seals the cardstock. So I was able to just wet a piece of paper towel and wipe that watercolor pencil off. As you can see here. Remove the black. It is not working. The black works. It's just the way that it went on. It sort of stayed a bit patchy. I think it was, yeah, I don't know what it was, but I didn't like it. So I simply removed it with a damp paper towel, and no harm, no foul. But I did leave it in because you guys get warts and all with me. If I stuff it, you guys get to see it. So that's what my channel's about. Now I am sticking this all down, and I did create an offset. My offset was 0.97 for those playing along wanting to do an offset with their CRICUT or Silhouette, Cameo, or what other ones is there? Brother Scan and Cut. Tell you I'm rusty, guys. I'm rusty. Don't take a week off. Trust me. Yeah, so I do have these two little Christmas trees. I've actually kept them off to the side because I may use them as an embellishment on another layout, but they don't make it onto this one because I thought it would look a bit... The trees weren't big enough to be next to the GONKS. Does it make sense? I have an issue with things being out of size. See, they're the same size as the GONKS, so it just didn't work. Whereas that black tree off to the side, it's taller, so that works. So these are my little gonkies. I absolutely love it. It is just adorable. I love these things. I know some people hate gnomes and some people hate gonks, gnomes, whatever you want to call them. But I just think these things are the cutest little things ever. I absolutely love them. And I will probably have them popping up throughout this 2023 Christmas season because they're just adorable. Now, as you can see, I've obviously created a family of gonks. So I have, now at the moment, they're just looking like they're floating in the middle of nowhere. Don't worry, I ground them. Here we go. Let's ground these little gonkies. So I bought in some more blue because I went around the outside edge. There was already blue on there, but I went around with some tumbled glass and I used the Distress ink because I didn't want it to go over the top. Distress ink is simply a dye ink, so it's transparent. So I went around that. I know everyone's going to get mad at me for putting my drink on there again. I've done it again, but it's okay. No harm, no foul. It was fine. Now, I did a bit of distress watercolor. I used faded jeans and I just put that underneath their little feet. And then what I did is I either do it now or I come back to it. I'm not sure. Now I'm going through with my silver pen. So I needed to bring some of that silver down and I needed to take some of the black feet up. I know that's how my brain thinks, guys. I don't know. So I've got silver and then I've got Christmas baubles, decorating the family, and then I've got Christmas, which is silver. And then I'm now bringing a bit of the silver down to the most wonderful time of the year, which was it's sort of, for me, that on the page where it is, it's kind of like the little family of gonks are singing their little song. And yeah, so I started going around this page. I don't know if it's because I had a couple of days off and I was rusty. Do you guys do that? If you have a few days off that you lose your flow and then it takes a couple of goes to get it back, a couple of layouts to get your flow back. I've got it back now, but earlier today it was a bit wishy-washy. So bit clunky, I like to say. So I decided that I would go around, instead of doing a drop shadow, I would actually go around all of my letters to block them a bit more and bring more of that black up to the top, because I was worried that it just wasn't quite working. It was looking a bit hit and miss. So I like how it looks at the very end, but as I say, I will take you along for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is where I decided, now this did take me a little bit of time, hence why it is hyper sped up. It's like that because, I hyper sped my little squiggles under their feet. Okay, when I straighten the page up, I've done little squiggles underneath the little gonks, so they're standing on a squiggle. And then I go along at the very end and I put our names under our respective gonks. So I just love it. I just love this layout. It turned out so pretty. I love it. And it's different. Like normally when it comes to a Christmas layout, you see the red, the green, the snow, the red truck. I love all that stuff, by the way. I'm not dissing it. I love it. But this particular page, because I wanted to do the gonks, our hats are actually our favourite colours. So, yeah. So, Darren's dark blue. And he doesn't really have a favourite colour, but blue or green he sort of leans towards. Now, mine's yellow. And then Taylor's is teal. Jen's is purple and Angela's is blue. So it's a different blue to the other one. So yeah, so it all comes together in the end and I think it looks so cute. Let me know if this is something that has triggered a different idea, a different direction for you maybe for this Christmas. Maybe this is something that you want to do. If this is something you've done in the past, what did you do? I would love to see pictures of different people's photos. I always get to the end of Christmas and feel like I've taken thousands of photos and then I load them up to the computer and realize I haven't taken many at all. So yeah, I did pull out my NUVO GLACIA paste in winter white. I'm going to have to buy some more of this, guys. It's getting low. I'm having heart palpitations because I love this stuff. Basically what I'm trying to do is imagine that the snow is falling down and it's settling on top of the bits that are scooped and the bits that are kind of ledges. I was going to sit some on top of the GONKS heads, but I stopped myself. I did stop. Main reason being is because I wasn't sure if the Ecoline pen would react with the glacier paste. I will have to check that out. I did put a little bit of glacier paste on our little beards because they needed some sparkle. Like I said, to balance the whole page, I had to go sparkle from the top to the bottom. Then I had to do black from the bottom to the top, silver all the way through for it to all blend. And the blue out under our feet, or under the GONKS feet, matches the blue going around the outside edge. Let me know what you think. I know this was a long one, guys. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you would consider doing? See how you can see it looks like the glitter's fallen and it's landed on everything? Yeah. Anyway, that's just my interpretation of it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the little GONKS. There will be a link in the description below for you to jump over to Crafty Divas and pick yourself up some GONKS if that is something that you're wanting. Or check out their other amazing cutouts. They've got some beautiful, beautiful things. Look at the little GONKS. That's so cute. And see the black on the edge? It just makes them pop. I love it. Let me know what you think. If you haven't already, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you're getting value from my videos. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And of course, leave me a comment because that just makes my day. Thanks so much, guys. Chat to you soon. Bye for now.